Hi everyone, today we are looking at our numeric and algebraic expressions in order of operations packet. Please turn to page 12. Today's lesson is on math properties. Let's take a look at the example. Using properties to write an equivalent expression. Use the commutative property of addition, and there's a commutative property of multiplication as well. So there's a commutative property of addition and multiplication. So what you want to remember about commutative property of addition and multiplication is to change the order of the addends in 5 plus x. So what you want to highlight is change the order. So commutative property of addition and multiplication is all about changing the order of what you're adding and what you're multiplying. So if we take a look at our example, we have 5 plus x plus 2. 5 plus x is in parentheses on this side of the equal sign. On the other side of the equal sign, we have x plus 5 plus 2. So now we have x plus 5 added together in parentheses. So the only thing that changed was that over here we are adding 5 plus x, and on this side of the equal sign it's now x plus 5. So we just changed the order of what we were adding. Use the associative property of addition, and again, associative property of addition and of multiplication. So there's an associative property of addition and multiplication. So what you want to remember about associative property is changing the grouping. Changing the grouping. So let's take a look at an example. We have x plus 5 plus 2, and on the other side of the equal sign we have x plus 5 plus 2. So it stays in the same order, x plus 5 plus 2, x plus 5 plus 2. The only thing that changes is the grouping. So on this side of the equal sign, we grouped x plus 5, and on the other side of the equal sign, we have now grouped 5 plus 2. Turn the page to 13. Use the associative property of multiplication to group the factors b and 1. So we have b times 1 in parentheses. So we are going to now group 6 times b and put 6 times b in parentheses. Because associative property, as we learned on the previous page, is all about changing the groups, changing the groupings. So if b plus 1 is in parentheses on this side of the equal sign, it's now going to be 6 times b in parentheses on this side of the equal sign. Use the multiplication property of 1 to simplify the product inside the parentheses. So we have b times 1. Well, any number or variable times 1 is going to stay the same. So b times 1 is going to simplify to b. Because again, any number or variable times 1 is going to stay the same. So b times 1 is b. Rewrite the product without the multiplication dot. So we have been seeing multiplication written as a number with a dot in the middle times another number, or in this case, a variable. We want to rewrite this multiplication statement without the dot in the middle. So it would look like 6 times b, 6 right next to the variable. This also means multiplication. When a number is right next to a variable, that means multiplication. Tell which property the statement illustrates. Number 1, we have 8 times z is equal to z times 8. This would be the commutative property of multiplication because we are multiplying. On this side of the equal sign, we started out with 8, and we multiplied z. On this side of the equation sign, or equal sign, we have z times 8. So what changed there was the order we multiplied. So it's the commutative property of multiplication. Number 3, we have 10 plus 5 plus m on this side of the equal sign. And then we have 10 plus 5 plus m on this side of the equal sign. The only thing that's different is what we are grouping or adding. So take a look at what's inside the parentheses over here. We have 5 plus m, and on the other side, we have 10 plus 5. So what changed there was the groupings. So this would be an example of associative property of addition because we do have addition signs. So associative property of addition. Number 11, associative property of addition. So we need to perform the associative property of addition. So they give us 11 plus 7 plus 6 in parentheses. So what changes with the associative property is the groupings. So you're going to rewrite 11 plus 7 plus 6. So you're going to rewrite all three numbers in the same order. The only thing that's changing is what we are adding or putting inside parentheses. So on this side, we had 7 plus 6. So on this side, we want to have a totally different group. So that would be 11 plus 7 in parentheses plus 6. I would like for you to pause the video and try numbers 2, 10, and 12. Play back the video when you're done solving. Number 2, we have c times 1 is equal to c. Again, any number or variable times 1 is going to stay the same. So this would be the multiplication property of 1. Number 10, commutative property of addition. So we have h plus 8, and that is going to be equal to 8 plus h. Again, with a commutative property, you're switching what you are adding or switching what you are multiplying. So if it started out as h plus 8, on the other side of the equal sign, it's going to be 8 plus h. So the opposite. Number 12, associative property of multiplication. So they give us 9 times 2 times 6, and 2 times 6 is in parentheses on this side. So all we have to do is rewrite those three numbers. So 9 times 2 times 6. And with the associative property, we're changing the grouping. So if 2 times 6 was in parentheses on this side, then we're going to put 9 times 2 in parentheses on that side.